Welcome, everyone. I'm Patrick Bracken with the Shauna Foundation, and I'm here with Joe Badon. He is a Shawnee Film Festival favorite, writer, director of the film The Wheel of Heaven, which is playing at the film festival Thursday, September 21st at 2 o'clock at the Hilton Garden Inn in Worcester. It's a fantastic film. So welcome, Joe.
Yeah, thank you. Very, very honored to be here.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I should also mention that this is the world premiere of this film, so very
Yep.
excited about that. It feels kind of weird interviewing you about this film because the film itself starts with an interview
Right.
with you about the film. And in that interview, you compare the film to Kentucky Fried Movie. Can you explain a little bit about that?
Yeah, that was just to prepare the audience, really. Just to just so they know that you'll see credits and commercials and just it's weird, just like lots of little short films and shit. Just to kind of prepare people that it's gonna not be very traditionally formatted, you
Yeah,
know.
I'd say that was it was a great way to prepare us, and definitely there's at least uh, it's not all disjointed. There's four or five different stories that are all kind of interconnected going on. Um, and one of the remarkable things about the film is I don't think it breaks the fourth wall so much as just ignores that there is a fourth wall and then goes looking for fifth and sixth walls to break. So why did you structure the film that way?
I'm just trying to figure out like a new way to tell a story, really, like, or at least like hasn't been told a lot, you know. And so yeah, like with all the behind the scenes footage, it really wasn't written into the script with how we were going to integrate the behind the scenes footage into the film.
Hmm.
And so during post production, we kind of wrote out like the drama of what was happening behind the scenes, and then added like shot extra scenes during post production to kind of fill in any gaps. So it's kind of writing the story all the way up until the end of editing. We're kind of still writing the story in a way. So it was really just it was like an experiment to see like how far we could go with like telling a story and not telling a story at the same time. And I'm fascinated in the idea of like anti-film and anti-storytelling. And so I'm trying to do that, but at the same time keep it entertaining, which I think is like a fault of, or maybe not a fault, but just is the risk you take when you're doing like art house weird cinema, is that you can isolate or alienate the audience. And so I wanted to make something that was very art housey, very experimental, but at least people felt like they were on a ride and that they were entertained the entire way through. And so that was like entertainment was like number one priority, and then just being artistically expressive, just like however it felt at the moment was important as well. So yeah, it's chaos. I was controlled chaos, and that's what I was trying to do. You know.
I think you succeeded beautifully. That's what it feels like the whole time.
Oh
And
yeah.
it starts with a film that was actually a short at the Shawnee Film Festival last year, the Blood of the Dinosaurs. Was that always intended as part of the larger film?
Yeah, I had wrote the entire script like 2.5, 3 years ago, and then we just took out that beginning and made Blood of the Dinosaurs. So it was always meant to be reattached, essentially. Yeah.
Okay. Um, Callie Russell
Yes.
is your lead actress, and she plays, I think, five different parts,
Yeah.
including a mechanic who finds like a choose your own adventure book, and that's kind of the binding of the film in a
Right.
way. But how did you prepare her, and how did she prepare herself for the challenge of playing five completely different roles?
But I worked with her on Sister Tempest, and worked with her. I just saw uh her range, and I realized what she could really just do a bunch of different roles. And so after working with her, it was like, okay, well, I know what these actors like, especially after working with a lot of the theatrical actors, the ones that are in the plays and theater.
Mhm.
Um, they they're trained more to do all sorts of different roles. That's what they're trained to be. It's not movie actors are much more like you're just yourself. That's all you really ever play. Um, so I became real fascinated just working with actors and being like, okay, well, let's see how far we can stretch the actors. Um, so I don't know how much she didn't really prepare for it. I don't think as much as she's an actress that can just really drop into a role. She doesn't, she doesn't have to live in that role,
Mhm.
and so that was important because that's the kind of actor you need. So yeah, I just wrote it really according to her skill level, and then tried to push her even further.
Yeah,
But
she's
yeah,
definitely,
she pulled it off. It
yeah,
was
she kills it.
incredible. Her and Jeff Pearson fucking doing his 4 or 5 different roles, and
Yeah,
they're just perfect together. So I knew I needed those 2 actors to be strong, and I found them, and it was yeah, they made it work. Yeah,
yeah, I think you did. I also wanted to talk about, um, one of the villains of the film because
right.
it's you
Yeah,
in a way, as
yes,
you wrote yourself into this movie as the director, Joe Badon, who is trying to pressure his lead actress into doing a scene she doesn't want to do. What was your thought process in not only just putting yourself in the movie but making yourself a jerk?
well, I that's it's a lot of like therapy there, like me just dealing with my own shit, like and confronting my own shit creatively. Um, but also it was just the need inside the story for for that in the behind the scenes because I was trying to figure out a way to add the behind the scenes in there, and that was the storyline that I came up with. Well, this is me pressuring her to try to do this scene, and there's a scene towards the end of the film whenever anybody watches it where the main character turns into this object, turns into like a food object, and it's a very weird moment. And while during post production, I kept meditating on the story, trying to figure out where I could kind of insert the behind the scenes footage where it would collide with the story, the narrative, and I felt like that was the moment. And so trying to figure out how to get there was the challenge. And so it was like, oh well, I'm pressuring her to do this scene somehow, and then she changes it and starts writing the script instead. And so that was the idea there. It was giving the authority over to the person that has no authority, and flipping the script, literally flipping the script, you know. So
That was awesome. And another thing about this film is you're telling 4 or 5 different stories, and in different styles. You've got black and white. You've got the party scene, which is filmed, if I'm remembering, kind of fisheye. So
yeah.
talk about how you decided on the different styles for the film.
Well, I knew that every storyline was going to be different. Like, so I was using, like, one was the black and white stuff was very Twilight Zone. So, got screenshots from Twilight Zone and used like clips from that TV show and been like, this is what we're doing basically. And then all the Star Trek kind of scenes, those space scenes, we were using like lots of like screenshots from like Star Crash and Star Trek, the old Star Trek stuff and old sci-fi B movies. So we kept that all in that kind of realm. And so each storyline had its own influences that I tried to stay within those influences for each storyline. So like with the party scene was very Beyond the Valley of the Dolls, and all the psychedelic like party movies and shit like that. So yeah, so it was just a matter of like staying within those tropes for wherever we were going. And I really wanted to do with this film was genre hop. So I wanted to just hop around genres the entire time. And that's from my me growing up listening to a lot of like experimental musicians and composers. And there's this one guy named John Zorin, in New York, and he does a lot of experimental composition, and he's got a band called Naked City, and they just genre hop. They'll do like speed metal to country to hip hop to jazz, and they're just constantly changing. And so I wanted to kind of capture that same energy, essentially.
Okay, yeah, you can really feel that in the film. And speaking of the sci-fi plot, I just wanted to say that Callie does a fantastic Janeway.
Yes,
Really,
yes,
really great.
totally.
Um,
Well, that was that I just sent her clips of Janeway. I said, do Janeway. So yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
that definitely comes across. So this is we're having the world premiere of this film, and so it's just starting to hit the festival circuit. Do you know what's next coming up next for you?
As far as film projects and things, I'm taking a break right now.
Okay.
Just trying to recapture my brain. This was like almost 3 years with when you start with Blood of the Dinosaurs and writing the story at the beginning and until finished. It was almost 3 years. So yeah, I'm taking a break after
Okay.
that. I have some scripts that I'm writing, but I'm kind of focusing on my art, my music for a little while, you know. So unless somebody wants to give me some money, you know.
Well, this will be going out to our dozens of fans at
That's right.
San Diego Film Festival. So who knows? Maybe you'll get something.
That's right.
But I think it's a well-deserved break. I love the way you describe this film as controlled chaos. I think that's perfect. I hope everybody out there goes to see this film. It's funny, it's weird. It does have that kind of anti-movie feeling to it. It's an experience. So, and again, it's going to be showing Thursday, September 21st at 2 p.m. at the Hilton Garden Inn in Worcester. So, Joe, thanks for joining us, and thanks for giving us the world premiere of this film.
Oh yeah, I am humbled and just always love you guys. Y'all have been supportive since the beginning, and I appreciate it.
Thanks a lot.